Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. In my case, it's good evening. It's like, I don't know, it's like 8:30 p.m. over here. So, let's go to class number 2, ladies and gentlemen. So, for today, if this computer wants to help me out, we start, ladies and gentlemen, with format. And we start with MLA. So, first things first, let's put this presentation in order. There we go. Okay, so look at the screen. MLA, Modern Language Association. So, what is MLA? Most of you know is an academic format, and there's more than one. Now, I might have discussed this before in class, but there are multiple formats, and each format belongs to more than one field, to one or more fields, and for a very good reason. In the case of MLA, it's most often associated with the humanities. And the APA is often associated with American Psychological Association, psychology, but also education. So some of you know that actually I'm doing a master's degree in education, and the format that we use for our research papers is always APA, or 99.9% of the time, but that's another kind of conversation. Anywho, so for today, let's start with the basics of MLA and then how to do MLA. So, MLA, or what son siglas en inglés, they stand for Modern Language Association. It's a academic style which is commonly used to write papers and cite sources within liberal arts and humanities. So, why format? What is so important format? Why do we have to write in a format, and why not the way we want it? So, look at it this way. If I had each and every one of you write an essay to me right now, you would basically write it in your own way, right? With your own kind. Everyone has a different format. Like, you have a different format right now, and you have a different format right now, and you have a different format right now. All of you. So if let's say that I'm some kind of scientist, or let's say that I'm some kind of professional that needs you, the writer, to give me data on the same topic or different topics, and then I need to take all that data and I need to, synthesize it, right, into results, and then to tell the rest of the society, hey, this works, hey, this doesn't work. But then what happens when I get, in your case, I got 30 students, and then I get 30 papers, all written in different ways. So I have to figure out how each paper works, how each writer works in a way. Now, multiply that by 1,000,000. And that's what you have basically with knowledge everywhere. If we let every writer write in their own format, we would never sort through all of the information, all the knowledge that is out there. If you want an example of it, take into consideration Google. Google does for you, for all of us, what format does for academics. Google literally takes keywords and sorts them throughout into results that you, the user, can actually use. And another way to see it is that formats provide consistency, right? So instead of getting 30 different formats, I would just get one. It would be easier for me to sort through all of those papers. So the same goes for academic writing. Having a format means that writers of specific fields will have a consistent characteristics and features in the writing that readers can actually, tal pendiente, and can actually sort through them much faster. Okay. In addition to that, consistency is always a very good characteristic of professionalism. This is a bit of a lesson that you could take not only into format but into other places. How that works, it's up to you to figure it out. Now then, continuing. Writers who properly use MLA also build their credibility by demonstrating accountability to their source material. So what this means is that formats also provide because formats have a set of constraints that you have to follow. They also, I don't want to say force, but rather guide the writer into citing whatever information they find on other sources. That is avoiding plagiarism, which is the purposeful or accidental uncredited use of source material by other writers. I apologize for this, but I'm in a bit of pain on this, so uh, bear with me. So, moving on. General guidelines. How to start with MLA format. It's simple. You're going to use papel corto. So, basically, standard white 8.5 by 11-inch paper. Or papel corto. You're going to set the margins to your document to 1 inch on all sides. And I am, in this case, assuming that you're using Microsoft Word. Now, as I told you guys have, as students of the UPRM, you actually have access to 5 licenses of Microsoft Office, not just Word, the whole Office program. And you can install it on 5 devices. Excuse me, 5 devices. That includes cell phones, smartphones, computers, tablets, anything that you can put Microsoft Office in. All right. So your Microsoft Word should usually look something like this. So basically what you would do is that you would go to layout in the section of layout and you would go to margins, boom, normal. If you look over there where it says normal, it says top, bottom, left, and right, 1 inch on all sides. So it's gonna give you margins on 1 inch. Now then, to begin, in the upper left-hand corner of your first page, you're going to list your name, your instructor's name, the course, and the date. Now then, MLA format uses double space for everything. And you use Times New Roman font. Now, in the case of us, of our class, we're going to use, in MLA format, you can use other fonts. But for the purpose of our class, you're only going to use Times New Roman. And it would be in 12-point size, all right? So, something you should take into consideration, something, a bit of a thing that happens, that I don't like using the word thing, but bit of an issue, there we go, that's the correct term. The bit of an issue that happens is that when we hit double space, Microsoft Word usually already has certain spacing options already set into the paper. This has to do with default settings y es diferente para todo el mundo, okay? So how do you fix this? If you look at the screen, you're gonna notice something. And where I have pretty much circled out in red, it says before spacing, before and after, and it has 0 point on both sides, and line spacing should be double. That's how you set the proper double spacing in your document. You can also see the letters, the example that I put it into the page. You can almost see more or less how the spacing goes. So if you look at your document and it has more spacing than that, then it means that you need to go to the paragraph tab right there. And when you're in the home tab, you're gonna hit the small ribbon that says paragraph, and then this window is gonna open, and that's how you change the settings from there, okay? Make sure that those settings are there. A veces, y esto pasa a veces, donde dice before y after, lo que tiene es un espacio en blanco. Si es así, lo que pasa es que el espacio, the spacing, has more than one setting embedded into it. No es 0 punto. Si está en blanco es que tiene varias, many spacing options are just conflicting with each other. So, mi recomendación es que siempre se aseguren que todo eso esté en 0. Okay? So, your first page, once you've done all of this, your first page should look exactly like this. Okay? You should have your name at the beginning, then your course number, the proper course number. Please confirm. Mucho en otras ocasiones donde he dado esta clase antes, veo que los estudiantes se vuelven un poquito, they don't look at the details. And they'll put in INGLE, or they put in ING. They won't, or they'll put another number, INGL 3101. And instead of 3102, okay? Point is, make sure it's INGL 3103 and guion section, the abbreviation for section, dot, and in your case, it would be 07A for the section that takes class with me first from 1:30 to 2:20, and 082 for the section that takes with me from 2:30 to 3:20, all right? Yes, This matters to me, so estén pendientes. Then instructor. My some of you call me professor, and while I am very flattered, my correct nomenclature would be instructor. That being said, if you wanna still call me professor, I don't mind. And then Juan Colon, first name, last name basis, and the date. The date is the date that you're gonna turn your paper in. Okay, not the moment where you're writing the paper, the due date. Okay. Now then, you need to create a header that numbers all pages consecutively in the upper right hand corner, 1/2 inch from the top and flush with the right margin. What this means is, usted lo van a tener en la derecha, pero en vez, si se dan cuenta, su nombre va a estar a 1 pulgada de margen, ¿ok? Pero el número de página va a estar a media pulgada en vez de 1 pulgada. So, el número de página debería estar a mitad de distancia que hay desde el borde de la página hasta donde está su nombre. Y por ende, el número de página siempre va a estar por encima de cualquier texto que ustedes tengan escritos en sus papeles. So, en adición a eso, you will write your title and you will center. Do not underline, do not italicize, or place your title in quotation marks. You will write the title in title case. Standard capitalization, not all capital letters. What it means is que hay ciertas palabras que van a tener mayúsculas. No todas. Les voy a dar un ejemplo ya mismo. So, por ejemplo, you would use content words. Cosas como conjunciones, cosas como off, in, palabras que tengan propósitos gramaticales no llevan mayúsculas. Palabras que tengan contenido, por ejemplo, fear, loathing, Las Vegas, morality, play, that they have sort of a certain significance to them. Even abstract concepts like weariness or human have caps in them. However, no se termina ahí todo. You need to use quotation marks or italics when referring to other works in your title, just as you would in your body text. En algunos de ustedes, sus títulos, aunque siempre tienen que ser creativos, puede ser que decidan añadir el nombre de el work o el nombre de algún artículo, el nombre a lo mejor de un posting o de un video o algún source material que estén usando en su paper. ¿Okay? En este caso hay unas reglas que se usan para ese tipo de casos. When you're dealing with another work, para dejarle saber al lector que you're referring to another work, per se, another source material, you use certain format to it, or features. En este caso, you would use quotation marks and or italics when referring to other works in your title, just as you would in your text. For example, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas as Morality Play. That's one title. So you can also see that the words morality play actually have caps on them. And then Fear, Loathing, Las Vegas also have caps in them, but the title of the source itself, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, is italicized. Now then, let's go to the second example, which says Human Weariness in After Apple Picking. So After Apple Picking is another title, and the title itself is referring to the title of another work. So to separate those two, it's inside quotation marks. Moving on. So how are you gonna get the top of the number on the top of the page? You're gonna go, excuse me. You're gonna go in Microsoft Word to the tab of Insert. Okay. There, you're gonna go to Page Number. Go to Insert right here. Then you go to Page Number. Then you hit top of the page and you look for the number that is on the right. Okay. Now that once you have it set, your screen will look like this. And you will have the opportunity to also edit. Now then, this is very important. Your first last name goes right besides the phone number, the page number right there. For example, if this were a paper written by me, my first name being Colon, the first page would say Colon 1. Then the second page would say Colon 2, and so on and so on. Microsoft Word already copies whatever you put in there into the rest of the pages. So once you put it on the first page, va a aparecer en todas las demás. In addition, you can also notice something here where it says header from top. You can actually format that to have it 0.5, which means media pulgada. Okay? And your heading, your MLA heading, should look like this. You have the name, the course code number, along with the section, the instructor's name, due date, and your last name on the page, and you're ready to put in the title. In this case, the title would be Words Have Power, Anime Fiction as a Teacher of Human Values, and then one space, you start working on your paper, all right? You start your introduction. So notice something, your first paragraph always indented. Remember that, okay? Now, something you should notice. I've seen many students do this, and they think sometimes that because these two are often so stuck together, they think they need to separate them a bit more. That is not the case. You don't have to do that, okay? You don't need to separate them. Just one space, one enter is more than enough. And of course, one should always cite where you get your information. And while I get my information from many sources, most of this you can find in the Purdue WOW. If you check online for the Purdue WOW, you pretty much get all sort of a basics on how to start with MLA format, okay? So then, for today, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to show you the basics of MLA format. Please review this presentation. If you have any questions, doubts, confusions, anything I can help you with, please let me know through message. Go forth and conquer.